Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this afternoon's 3 p.m. broadcast of the North American Gridiron Association. My name is Reed Option, as you know, and here we have the Battle of Virginia. Virginia Beach and Richmond, continuous rivalry. Richmond has a slight disadvantage, but it's a 50-50 split. High-scoring game expected. Let's go right into the train depot on this clear, sunny Sunday. Hope you guys have been enjoying all football you've been consuming today. These guys, I mean, they're 1-1 against each other in the regular season. Virginia Beach bested the Richmond Rockets in the playoffs in Richmond. So, taking everything into consideration, last year Virginia Beach's away record was 3-1, total record 5-3. Richmond going 6-2 in total and 2-2 at home. Very equal matchup. Slight edge to Virginia Beach. But we'll see how things play out. There's Ja'Cory Rowland taking the kickoff up to the 25 to open things up for the Richmond Rockets. In an interview with owner Trey Day of the Richmond Rockets, I asked him how he prepares for division games different than other games, you know, considering rivalries. And he says there's no way you can prepare for a rivalry physically as a coach. It's mentally and emotionally. Trey Day is actually from Virginia Beach, so these games mean a lot to him. He says that the guys put a little more effort into drills when preparing to face the Mariners. Mariners obviously being the runner-ups last year, losing to San Antonio in the championship game. So, got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Let's see how they fare, taking things out on these Rockets. And after two rushes, one from Crockett, one from Wilmoth, the ground pound, Richmond already moves the chains. Here we have star quarterback Paul Wagner under center, handing it off to Crockett, and Crockett only gains a few there. Not a lot. Now this Richmond squad is the same squad as last season. The entire 53-man roster, I mean, they drafted, but they're on the practice squad. The entire 53-man roster is from last year. There is not a single new face. Which is surprising. These guys are very confident. They won the Northeast Division last season, so they have every right to be confident. And they are just rolling with it. 3rd and 4 here. Wagner out to Guthrie. First down, Guthrie. Looks like newly acquired linebacker Jonathan Coleman in a trade from the Delaware Pioneers, another division rival. Got a little banged up on that play. The Virginia Beach Mariners are actually running with 25 out of 53 new people. That's slightly under half. You know, 28 people are from last year. But we're talking trades from Austin, Memphis, Delaware, Oklahoma City, Raleigh, Vancouver, Brooklyn, and Iowa to get these people on here alongside a bunch of free agent signings, 12 offensive, 13 defensive. I'll go over a few of them as the game goes on. Great tackle there. That was Jaleel Marion, one of the acquisitions from Memphis, who got the tackle on that play. The head coach, E, likes to reconstruct and rebuild. We'll see how this reconstructed team does, and there is a sack! Desmond Cooper, one of the tenured Mariners, getting the sack on that play. Last year, E got Coach of the Year. I asked how he adapted and had grown since last season. He says that he changed his outlook on what to focus on. Last year was youth. This year, it's a balance of veterans and youth. That last year, their O-line wouldn't have held up without Brian. He's referring to Brian Condon, the retired center last season. So that's why he brought in Jason Traynor from Austin this year. He said both older and younger guys can learn from each other. I'm trying to capitalize on that. Wise words from the championship head coach. First down against this defense. Second, third down conversion in a row. That was a solid, I think, 15-something yard catch by Marquise Dawkins, the tight end. Sorry, 19-yard catch. Again, rolling with the pass. Wagner dropping back. Plenty of time, deciding to scramble. He's being hunted. Tackled once again by Jonathan Coleman, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait. That was Jaleel Marion. My bad. In field goal range already. Potential touchdown here. Rockets 2nd and 7, halfway through the first. Go! Wagner dropping back way deep, looking towards the end zone into a big scrum of people. I mean, could have been anybody's ball. That looked like a, one of those end-of-game Hail Mary deep throws to the end zone where a big old huddle of guys just jump up for it. Third down in a row. 2 conversions out of 2 so far. Hand off to Crockett, and Crockett will be immediately stopped for no gain. That was Rayburn, recent draft pick. Nick Rayburn, round 2 pick 46. A lot of draft picks on this squad. Braylon Granderson, round 1 pick 11 from Iowa. Carson Samuelson, tackle, round 2 pick 34. Tight end Travis Churchill, round 2 pick 41. We already went over Rayburn. Ronan Gallagher, new, very promising backup quarterback, round 4 pick 73. Tyrone Stapleton, free safety, round 5 pick 105. And Montel Reed, round 6 picks 143. All on the 53-man squad. So we're going to see a lot of rookies here today. A lot of guys hoping to get their reps in. I mean, they had 2 guys retire last year. The pre-mentioned Brian Condon and linebacker Nate Lewis. So these guys have a lot of youth that they're sporting and a lot of, experience from the guys that they acquired. Hopefully we see a couple of those guys today making big plays for the Mariners. Make this thing interesting after that field goal from Klein. The Mariners will start it off at the 29. There is Corey Marshall. Hand off to Walker. Walker immediately stopped in the backfield. -4 yards. And that was Markel Sutton, defensive tackle out of NC State. There he is at the bottom of your screen there. Marshall dropping back. Attempted to throw a pass to Walker. Almost a designed screen there, looks like. 3rd and 14. Potential to go 3 and out. You don't want that if you're Virginia Beach, especially heading into Richmond. Man downfield, caught! Shakir Burns! First down and then some. 33-yard gain on the play. Shakir Burns, a late season acquisition last year from Memphis. Big blockbuster trade there, and he has been worth every penny for these Mariners since the acquisition. Walker gaining 5 yards on that rush. We are now all the way to the Richmond 37. Walker just netting 1 yard. Looks like they'll try to feed him a little bit more here. Reaching forward for another 5 yards. Not quite a first down. And first-round pick Kamani Moore from last season. He had a lot of issues with fumbling. That was one thing that really held him back. Let's see if he commits any of those crucial mistakes today. Marshall dropping back. Immediate throw to Robertson, the tight end. Veteran tight end on the squad, getting a quick catch for the first down. 2 third-down conversions for Virginia Beach in a row. Kind of identical drives from these very identical teams as far as talent distribution goes. Marshall up the middle, taking it for himself. Gain of 9 yards on the play. Wow. Upon asking E about last year, in this rivalry, you know, how he anticipates division rivals will adapt to their team. He says that he feels as though their weaknesses have been put on display many times. Inability to execute on third down, fumbles, poor pass defense, and inexperienced O-line. Those will often be the causes of our failure, and I think that our division, as tough as it is, and I've likely buffed up wide receivers and D-line to thwart us. However, I think we can counter that pretty well. We'll be prepared. Again, more confident words from the head coach. They were underdogs last season. You know, not having anything special as far as top offense or defense. 17th offense, 12th defense, a negative 6-point differential, not even accumulating an average of 400 yards per game for, and just slightly 400 yards against. They kind of snuck in to the Super Bowl as a shock to everyone. So this year they're trying to act like the favorites, it seems. Richmond, on the other hand, has one of the best defenses, second best defense in the league last season. But again, a not too impressive offense, about 16th out of 24. 35 total point differential, though. Much better defense. Roughly identical offense yards per games. Towards the end zone. Powers. Touchdown. The stud receiver for the Mariners. He was missing most of last season. And in week 1 this year, he pulls through pretty rapidly on his first target for the touchdown. And Reynolds will look to kick this through for the extra point. And he will. 7-3 Virginia Beach. Man, oh man. Corey Rowland taking the kickoff. Last year they faced each other in week 1. They went to overtime, where Virginia Beach pulled through with an overtime field goal. I expect to see potentially a similar outcome today. And things were pretty unbalanced. The other 2 games they played each other late in the season. Virginia Beach put in their backups. I commentated that game, and I commentated the playoff game as well, where Virginia Beach bested them, almost doubled their points. Powers had like a 99-yard touchdown. It was a very intense game. So this battle for Virginia is very personal. It has produced very intense games. And I mean, both these guys were expansion teams last season. Both have coach owners who care about their teams. So it is a very real rivalry. A Steelers-Ravens rivalry almost. An Eagles-Cowboys rivalry. After that first down pass, looks like Wagner is alone in the backfield, dropping back, looking down the middle. Oh, off the fingertips of the defender. Like maybe Jonathan Coleman on that defense. Or Tyrone Shirley, not sure. Motioning his man in pistol formation. Wagner tossing it to Crockett. Crockett stiff-arming and then being brought down by Jeremiah McClain. 3rd and 8. Man, he stiff-arm was Julius Sylvester. One of their free agent signings this season. Deep throw, catch by Dawkins, wide open, busted coverage, 36 yards. And that will close out the first quarter. Virginia Beach up 7-3. Marquise Dawkins pulling through as the stud tight end today. Wagner to his left. Almost picked off once again this time. Either Marion or Stapleton looked like on that coverage. 2nd down, shotgun formation. A lot of passes today from this Richmond offense. Motioning the back out to the right. Wide open man across the middle is McKittrick. The slot receiver gains 6 yards on the play. 3rd down. It's McKittrick's only catch of the day so far. Handoff up the middle to Crockett. Crockett out to the left, and he will get the 1st down. Brought down by Jonathan Coleman. Here we have another just outside the red zone situation here in Richmond. And that is Toussaint busting through the offensive line for the tackle for loss. He's been looking pretty good in the preseason training camp footage. So we'll see what kind of day he has today. Wilmoth out to the left. A lot of blockers ahead of him. And he jukes the first guy. Still gets the 1st down. Brought down by veteran Anthony Givens before he could get the touchdown. But that is a new set of downs inside the 10. Scary situation for Virginia Beach. Richmond looking to capitalize on the field position. Handoff up the middle to Crockett. Crockett spin move. Brought down after a gain of 3. That's Tyrone Shirley on the tackle. Wilmoth in the backfield, fully expecting a run here, though there are 3 receivers out to the left. Based off the motion, they're playing a zone defense. Plenty of blockers, and Wilmoth will have the touchdown! Touchdown, Richmond, and they regain the lead early in the 2nd quarter. And Richmond is making the crowd go wild. Speaking of, in my interview with Trey Day, I asked him what aspect of the game day atmosphere do you think helps elevate your team's performance the most? He said it's the fans. They really play a vital role in what we do, and we feed off their energy. So let's see if they can continue to feed off their energy here in the 2nd quarter as they now have the lead once again, 10-7. Richmond. Marshall under center, single back formation. That's a toss to Walker, who will be quickly met by James Callahan. Veteran graduate of Nebraska. This time shotgun formation, 2nd and 9. Marshall dropping back, looking down the middle. Wide open man is Lawson. To any of you who have been watching these games, if you noticed, some people have number changes this year. I know there's a few around the league. I am noting this one, as I specifically remember last year Lawson having the number 11. If I'm looking at the depth chart right, looks like the new backup Gallagher has that number. Incomplete pass deep intended for Burns. Would have been huge if caught. But Marshall slung it just a little too far. Looks like he'll try to sling it again. 5 wide receiver set. Dropping back. Pressure coming from the left. Down the middle is Burns. This time caught for a short gain of 7. And 3rd and 3 will happen around midfield. Not quite in field goal range. Crucial 1st down. 2 tight ends set, expecting a run here. But he motions Walker out to the left. It's going to be a pass. And he drops back out to his left. Caught by Walker. Toe tap on the sideline. 1st down. Now in Richmond territory. Although Virginia Beach didn't have a lot of yards on the offense, nor did Richmond, they both put up roughly the same amount of points, but it's the defense really where Virginia Beach has kind of fallen off. I mean, that's why I feel like all 13 of their new defensive members are starters. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's like 5 guys out of the 13 new on the defense that aren't starters. I mean, 8 of your 11 being new is that's clearing out house. You know, that's cleaning up shop and saying we have a problem, let's fix it. So they've done all they can to stop these offenses from putting up all these points on them. Let's see what they can do on the offensive side, though. 3rd and 8. Again, 3rd down. No punts from either team today. Marshall dropping back, looking deep. Wide open is Scott. Hauled in. Tackled before he could do anything else. That was Jordan Damon on the tackle. First catch by Nashon Scott today. Marshall already accumulating about 100 yards here in the first half. Motioning Robertson just a little closer. Handoff shotgun to Walker. -2 yards on the play. And there's Jameer McDonald busting through to get the tackle in the backfield. Marshall again. Pistol formation. Dropping back. Pressure from the right side. Burns gets the catch. Up, gaining 8 yards. And barring a turnover, this is at least a tie ball game after this play. I formation looking like a run play, but it's not. Pass play towards the end zone. Off the fingertips of Walker. And that will result in a field goal attempt by David Reynolds. The snap, and Reynolds will sneak it in on the left side. Little close for how close they are to the goalpost. 27-yarder is good, and it is now a tie ball game, 10-10. Reynolds with the kickoff. Start the second half of the second quarter. Roland breaking a tackle, not gaining much after it. 26-yard return, roughly. And there is Crockett in the backfield. Would not be surprised if they fed him. Although we've seen a lot of passes today. And Wagner will drop back to pass, looking out towards Crockett. Crockett being very quickly met after a gain of 7. Tackle by Coleman, I believe. Crockett accumulating 54 yards today. The most productive running back today by far. And the pressure causes Wagner to throw it away. 3rd and 3. Would not be surprised to see a run here. They have converted every 3rd down. Every team, other than that last 3rd down in the red zone by Virginia Beach, has converted a 3rd down. These offenses are just tearing it up today. Pass down the middle to Crockett results in yet another 1st down. Very offensive battle so far, although the score might tell you otherwise. I mean, 10-10 in the first half is, you know, not uncommon to see in football. I expect we'll see another score before the half ends. Hand off to the outside to Crockett. Crockett has a lot of guys in front of him. And that offensive line and tight end unit helped secure that 1st down for Richmond. Here we have Wilmoth now taking control in the backfield. The motion of Taub out to the left, and Taub will serve as a blocker for Wilmoth. Wilmoth breaking the ankles of, who was that, Malcolm Riley? 1st down, Wilmoth. And Travion Blackburn might find his way into the mix. First appearance from him today. And not quite gracing our presence. Expect if Crockett gets this ball, then he will. McKittrick getting a catch. Gaining 6 on the play. Looks like we're all but guaranteed a field goal here. If they get stopped. Wagner, 8 of 13, almost 100 yards himself. Pistol formation. Wagner motioning. McKittrick to the right, handing it off to the right to Wilmoth. And he will get another first down. And these the guys holding the sticks are probably getting tired from all this running around they've been doing today, as both of these offensive units have just been unstoppable. Wagner handing it off once again to Crockett. Crockett this time not gaining much, just a yard. It's like Coleman again was on the tackle. A lot of tackles from Coleman today. 5 wide receiver set, looking for the end zone, I imagine. Wagner motioning Brantley a little closer. Flag on the play, caught by Rowland. That would get them a first down. And as a holding against the defense, that'll be declined. And there you have it. The clock is stopped. Again, 5 wide receiver set. Wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback rush into the end zone. Wagner has not been too shy on doing that. Dropping back to pass, plenty of men around him. Throws it towards the end zone. Touchdown! Ja'Cory Rowland! And that will put Richmond up by 7 after this extra point by Klein. What a clean and productive game we've had so far. And Klein will send it through for the extra point. That is good. A minute and a half left to go in the half. Will Virginia Beach decide to try to put some points on the board before the half ends? I know they get it at halftime. So we'll see what they decide to do here. Minute 22 to go. Starting from the 22, here comes Marshall and company. 5 wide receiver set. Oh, 4 wide receivers and 1 tight end. Potato to Pato. This looks like it's going to be an attempt at gaining a lot of yards. Encroachment on the defense. Gives both sides a little bit of a little bit of time to strategize what's going to happen here next. And they continue to come out with 4 wide receivers, this time adding Walker into the mix. Dropping back, looking out to Walker. Toe tapper. Gets out of bounds. Gaining a first on the play. 1 play, 1 first down for Virginia Beach. Still all 3 timeouts. 5 wide receiver set again. Here we have Cameron Riddle with his rare appearance. Chucking it out towards the sideline. Pressure got to him before he could find a man that he liked. 2nd and 10. Still about a minute 15 to go. Looks like a bunch of wide receivers on the left. Extra tight end, maybe a blocker. Nope. Marshall, no pressure. Almost intercepted. 3rd down and 10. In and out of the hands of Antoine Kirkpatrick. That would have been crazy. Marshall now 10 for 16. And I imagine, a lot of those incompletions have been coming lately. Hand off to Walker to try to burn some time. Burn a timeout from Richmond, and they know that they're going to punt. And the Rockets will now have a chance to really push it home, this lead that they have. Punt fielded by Bell. And Sammy Bell will not gain much on that punt. Less than a minute to go. Rockets take it. Looks like they're going to send every man they got downfield. Here he goes. Wagner dropping back under pressure. Sacked! Sack brought to you once again by Desmond Cooper. They're going to let the clock tick. I mean, that kind of takes the wind out of your sails. If you are driving with not much time to go on the clock. And I imagine they're not too motivated to leave any time on the clock for the Mariners. So Wagner dropping back again, under pressure, down the middle. Incomplete pass. Disrupted by Julius Kelsey. Clock is stopped. 27 seconds left. Wagner almost identical to Marshall, 10 for 16 on this 3rd and 18. They'll hand it off to Wilmoth, and I expect Virginia Beach will take a timeout. No, they won't. No timeout here for Virginia Beach. Guess they'll just let this one go to halftime. And Neuenschwander may or may not punt this. He may. Fielded by Marion, and unless he gets a punt return here, this half is over. And it is. Pretty equal game so far. I mean, it was 7-3 in the first quarter. 17-10 to close out the second. Kind of back and forth here. Virginia Beach gets to start off with their response. Obviously, last game that the Mariners played, they lost in the championship. In my interview with E, I said last year you made it all the way to the championship, but you came up short. Has anything changed in the way you're approaching individual games this season? Or are things generally the same? And his response was, I think I prepared as well as I could last year for each individual game. Just came down to our guys versus their guys. Looks like a Mike Steele quote in there. Markel Sutton on that tackle for loss. He says he plans on continuing his approach that he had last year. Which, I mean, it got him to a 5-3 record. It's not shabby. We'll see if it's enough to beat the Rockets. And off to Walker up to the right. Gain of 5. Gain some yards back that they lost, and Kamani Moore will come in. Walker only 28 yards on the day. Not a big showing. Marshall dropping back to pass. Out to his left. Caught by Robertson. Will that be a first? It will not. 4th and 1. From their own 37. This will be a punt, ladies and gentlemen. And the Mariners are unable to make anything of this drive. There is Waldorf on the punt. Second punt from him today. Sammy Bell getting a decent return there. Up to the 31. Upon asking Trey Day, owner of the Rockets, how, his strategy has been tweaked or overhauled in anticipation for this new season. Every coach evolves their strategy. He said that it has nothing to do with on-field play. It's about medical and training staff that they brought in to do a better job for rehabilitation alongside providing better nutrition for the team. Michael Wilmoth wide open. Gains 14 yards on the play. Upon asking the Virginia Beach Mariners owner, E, about a similar question about changes to the training regimen to reduce injuries. They got a big injury bug last season. He also said they brought in new strength and conditioning as well as a nutritionist. So that way each guy, is at his top health. And regardless, he said, the bench guys are always ready to step in for an injured player. So it's like both coaches have really focused on health this season. Desmond Cooper got tackle for loss on that play. It's like 2 tackle for losses in a row. And 3rd and 13 has beset our Rockets. Will they capitalize or will they falter? Under pressure, wide open, through his hands. Gracious. Intended for Ellis Brantley. Unfortunately, through his hands, and Neuenschwander will try to Kaufman corner this. Not quite, but it's inside the 20. We got the 14-yard line here. Virginia Beach will have it deep inside their own territory. We'll see what they do here to try to tie this game up. 2 tight end set. Running play out to the right for Walker. Gain of 8. And Moore will pretty immediately relieve Walker. This running back duo was used a lot for Virginia Beach last season. Surprised I haven't seen it more today. Churchill in motion, the rookie tight end. Moore running up to the right, getting the first down. Gain of 4. 4 for Moore. And Walker will come right back in for 1st and 10. 1 yard at a time for Virginia Beach. I formation. Expecting a run. Motioning a man inwards. That's Powers. Hand off to the right for Walker. Walker weaving through. Breaking away. Gain of 22 yards for Walker. And this running back tandem has been carrying this drive so far. Although they have not done anything with it yet. Only to midfield. This time in shotgun. Motion for Robertson. Dropping back, Moore will act as a blocker. Chucking it deep. Lawson hauls it in, but there's a flag on the play. It was on Sammy Bell, but it'll be declined. DPI couldn't stop Trenton Lawson. And this time again in shotgun. The Mariners are just outside the red zone. Play action. Out to the sideline is Lawson again. The running backs and Lawson, the former Iowa Storm player out of Memphis, pulling through for this team. He's no longer on the field, running a 2 tight end set. Toss out to Walker. Plenty of blockers with him. Flag. We'll see what happens. It was a hold on Robertson, and that will redact the touchdown and move them back 10 yards. Costly penalties. Let's see what they can do here again. 2 tight ends set. Another handoff to Walker. This time not for as much luck as he had on the previous play. Not a lot of penalties called today, but that one is a big one. Marshall dropping back. A lot of blockers with him. Walker gaining 14, 3rd and 5 now. Moore going into the game. It appears might be running this. Strong formation. Marshall to the end zone. Touchdown again. Shakir Burns. And Burns will dance number 7 for 6. And it'll be 7 once Reynolds puts this through. Tie ball game here again in the Battle of Virginia. And as expected, it is good. This Northeast Division is very competitive. You guys probably just got done watching the Delaware-Brooklyn game in Brooklyn. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that. Up next, in Iowa, we have our first snowy game of the season already in week 1. And then later today at 5 Eastern in Arizona, Austin takes on the Tucson Vipers. And that'll be the end of week 1. Some power rankings done by me this week puts these two teams Richmond at 16, Virginia Beach at 5. I expect high things from Virginia Beach coming off that offseason, essentially restructuring their team. McKittrick, gain of 32 yards. But here's the thing. Never sleep on the Richmond Rockets like I did. Putting them in the lower percentile of the league is a bold decision that I made based off of their strength of schedule this season. And they are doing everything to prove me wrong. Wagner dropping back once again. Deep pass. Roland, 39 yards, 2 plays in a row, accumulating 72 yards passing, and Richmond's looking to score again. $210 yards passing. The 66% passing percentage. Toss to Wilmoth, and he'll get the touchdown. Both players, number 7 on each team, getting 2 touchdowns each. And Klein with the extra point is good. Richmond refusing to be down before the end of the third quarter. Virginia Beach will once again be forced to play some very smart football and reclaim what lead they had early in the game against the Rockets. And a broken tackle will get Powers maybe an extra yard up to the 26. Marshall in shotgun. Motioning Powers. Hand off to Walker. Met very quickly by almost the entire defensive line. As Antoine Kirkpatrick, -3 yards for the Mariners on that first play. They were fully expecting the run. Go! Marshall dropping back to pass under pressure. Sacked! Once again, the playmaker being Antoine Kirkpatrick. 3rd and 21 for the Mariners. Marshall in shotgun. Motioning Burns. 3rd and 21. Dropping back, play action. Throwing it deep to Burns. It's like that was deflected. Intended for him by DeMarcus McBride. And out comes Hunter Waldorf as Virginia Beach punts it from deep in their own territory. Wouldn't be surprised if Sammy Bell brings this up to midfield. And he does. Almost had a breakaway play there before Trevor Robertson got to him. He's up to midfield and then some. Starting off the drive in Virginia Beach territory. And this Richmond crowd is going wild. The motion. Hand off to Wilmoth. Fumble! Recovered by Jaleel Marion! And just like that, Virginia Beach will have it in the best field position they could have asked for. 1 play, 1 fumble, 1 turnover on the game. And Virginia Beach just needs 1 score to tie this thing up. Play action, throwing it out to the sideline. Marshall didn't see anything he liked. It's plays like that that really set aside the NAGA from any other sim league. I don't think there's any other announcers like me, but, you know, I don't think you get such electric plays like that in many other leagues. Marshall dropping back once again under pressure. Almost picked off. 3rd and 10. And you'd hate to see them not, you know, take this opportunity they were given by the defense heading towards the end of the third quarter. 3rd down. Not doing too well in their past few 3rd downs. Almost picked off again. And Robert Graham, with that deflection, will give Virginia Beach 4th and 10. And another punt. Waldorf this time with the opportunity to Kaufman corner this thing. That'll bounce at the 10 and roll its way into the end zone. Touchback. Close. I saw what he was trying to do there, and, it almost worked. But a touchback will be good enough for the Rockets. Hand off to Wilmoth. Man who fumbled last drive. Making sure he secures the ball there as Sherman Crockett comes in. The motion. Crockett looks like he's wide open down the middle. Great coverage on the play. I believe that was Tyrone Shirley on the coverage, if I'm not mistaken. Wagner, 14 of 22, 210 yards, 3rd and 5. Let's see if they can convert. Drops back. A lot of guys short across the middle, and that is Brantley for the first down. Might be one of the last plays of the quarter. Handoff to Wilmoth. Another fumble! This time recovered by Jeremiah McLean, and that is 2 fumbles for Michael Wilmoth. Unheard of. I don't know who jarred both those fumbles loose. I guess we'll see at the end of the game when I go over the stats. Goodness. Is that a handoff to the tight end? What was that? That was a handoff to the tight end. Rush for Trevor Robertson. Interesting. This time, empty backfield. 5 wide receivers. Marshall dropping back. Slight under pressure. Almost picked off again to end the quarter. 24-17 Richmond. That was Jordan Damon on that diving deflection. Marshall, 15 of 26 for 2 touchdowns and 181 yards. Nothing too impressive. Nothing too shabby. Marshall dropping back, looking immediately down the middle to Lawson. First down as Virginia Beach converts the first 3rd down that they've done in a while. Looking to tie up this game. Score looking pretty similar to how it looked in week 1 of last season. Handoff out of shotgun to Walker. Walker breaking the tackle. Walker to the outside. Touchdown, Virginia Beach! Walker's first touchdown of the game. And the extra point will tie it in the Battle of Virginia. And despite the close score, the crowd is still very invested. Extra point is good. Both of these teams play tough opponents next week. Memphis Liberty will come into Virginia Beach. The Mariners will play at home, while the Rockets have to head into North Carolina to face Raleigh and the Royals in the very red battle. Raleigh just coming off of a very close win over the Liberty. All playoff contenders. All were playoff teams last season in the Atlantic Conference. 4 of the 6 being accounted for. Wilmoth taking more snaps. Gain of 11. First down. And they'll give him a breather he deserves. Trying his best to hang on to that ball. 2 touchdowns, 2 fumbles for Wilmoth. False start on Ellis Brantley. And as they move back 5 yards, the clock will continue to tick. Crockett not having a bad game either. Brantley is motioned. Wilmoth with the handoff. Breaking a few tackles. I mean, pushing up 14 yards. Impressive stuff from Wilmoth. He's just going to keep asking for breathers. I mean, he is Derrick Henry with how much he is pushing through those guys. Looking like they're all falling off of him. Hand off to Crockett. Well, it was a pitch more so. To Crockett. Gain of 9 and a first down. Richmond has it just past midfield. A few more yards and they'll have field goal position. Shotgun. Running back on his right. Wagner. Motioning Brantley. Dropping back to pass. Looking to his left towards him. Gain of 3. Second and 7 for Richmond. Hand off to Wilmoth out of shotgun. Brought down in the backfield. Gain of nothing. Loss of nothing. Jeremiah McLean on the tackle. Man who just recovered that fumble last drive. Hand off to Wilmoth. Wilmoth being stopped before he could get the first. Are they in field goal range? 4th and 3. Will they go for it? I mean, we're in the 4th quarter. You got to keep trying. And they'll take the field advantage and bring out Neuenschwander. And punt it very short. 24. Not sure what Neuenschwander was thinking. Marshall rushing it for himself. It's like he was hugging the linebacker. With Axis 24, you can design quarterback runs into your playbook. A lot of playbook customization this season. I highly recommend the game. Please get it. Best football game on the market right now. Marshall throwing to his left. Walker gaining 6 on the play. Hardly anything to go. 3rd and inches. Another one of those design quarterback sneaks. Would surely do it. Oh my gracious. 5 wide receiver set. Trust in the play call. They're running a Hail Mary. Not what you'd expect. And that'll result in a punt. Hunter Waldorf will come out, and not sure what they were thinking there. You know, you'd have to consult with E, the owner of the Mariners, to see what really went on there. I'm sure the post-game interview will be very informative. First and 10, handoff to Wilmoth up the middle. Gaining 4 on the play. Halfway through the 4th quarter. Still a tie ball game here in Richmond. 4 wide receiver set. Wilmoth still in the backfield in pistol formation. We now have a bunch on the left. And Strickland will be the receiver. Cyrus Strickland, Mount Pleasant native. Pistol formation. Wagner will motion Dawkins and hand it off to Wilmoth, who will hold on to the ball and be tackled after a gain of 4. By Julius Kelsey. Sherwin Crockett comes back into the game. Handoff up the middle, stopped in the backfield. Tackle for loss by Tyrone Shirley. Third and 7. Clock ticking. Coming up on 4 minutes. Strip sack! McKenzie will recover, but that'll be a 4th and 9 regardless. Desmond Cooper with the tackle for loss. Oliver McKenzie, veteran offensive lineman, saving Richmond there. Or at least giving them a lot more time. And this punt will also roll into the end zone. Better strategy this time around from New and Schwander. At least it wound up at the 20. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Marshall will rely on his offensive line to protect him. Powers, 2nd or 3rd catch of the game, gain of 6. Second catch, 3rd target. One of his catches being the touchdown. Marshall chucking it deep. Intended for Burns, who was in double coverage. But did you see how far he brought back his arm? He was launching that thing. Don't throw out your shoulder, Corey. 18 of 31, a lot of incomplete passes. 214 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nothing to turn your nose up at. To the outside, Nashon Scott with the toe tap. Gain of 16 and a conversion on 3rd down. Clock will stop this time. 1st and 10 on their own 42. Marshall dropping back, pressured, screen pass. Loss of 1. James Callahan on the tackle. Pistol formation. Just shy of 2 minutes to go. Handoff to Walker. And Walker will stretch forward after that gain of 5. Clock still ticking. 3rd down. I wonder if they'll get a snap off before the 2-minute warning. Dropping back to pass. Extra protection. Threw it behind him. Burns was running way past that ball. And we will have 4th down just outside of the 2-minute warning. And Waldorf will punt it. And they will Kaufman corner that bad boy. That must be the inch line. Just inside the 1. Scary territory, reminiscent of the 99-yard touchdown pass to Powers. What will Richmond concoct to get themselves out of this situation? Pistol formation, play action, out to the right, Brantley. Gaining a few on the play. And that'll give them a little more breathing room at the 2-minute warning. A play action at your own 1-yard line is ballsy. Owner Trey Day designing some of the most ballsy play calling I've seen as a commentator. 3rd and 2. Clock ticking. Wilmoth now rushing for over 100 yards. And then some. 1st down, moving the chains. No timeouts called. And the Mariners will not call timeout either. Well, I guess we'll all await what Wagner and crew have in store for this Virginia Beach defense. Wagner dropping back. Plenty of time. Downfield. Disrupted by Riley. Intended for Brantley. 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped at about a minute. Another bunch wide receiver set. And he changes it to pretty standard. Flag on the play. Probably offsides. And it was. Costly penalty. As that would have been a great sack. I mean, you see 3rd and 18 there. I mean... both of Virginia Beach's accepted penalties against them have been one that overturned a touchdown and one that just overturned a 15-yard sack, essentially. So, letting penalties cost you big moments in the game. 3rd down and 3. Clock is stopped. Still all 3 timeouts for both teams. Wagner will hand it off to Wilmoth. Wilmoth will get the 1st down. Still no timeout called. I'm shocked. First and 10. Clock ticking. Under 30 seconds left to go. What does Wagner have in store for us? Wagner will throw it short to Wilmoth. We'll get no gain on the play. I fully expected that timeout. Great stop by Sylvester there. Julius Sylvester. Middle linebacker formerly from the Tucson Vipers. A handoff to Crockett. He'll gain 9 yards because they will not count that forward progress. And all they got to do is get in field goal range. They need a 1st down. They need field goal range. They have 1 timeout left with 8 seconds. There's not enough time to do anything on either side. Are they sending this to overtime? I think they are. They will call a timeout for a last-stitch Hail Mary. Almost a pick 6 there. That would have been crazy. And overtime is where we will head, which is exactly what happened in week 1 last season. And Virginia Beach will get the ball first. Not sure if you guys are able to read fast enough for those overtime rules, but essentially, same as the NFL. You get a field goal on the first drive, the other team gets an opportunity to respond. If you get a touchdown, then they don't get a chance to respond. But if you, on your first drive, punt it, then it's anybody's game. Doesn't matter if the second guy gets a field goal or not. So it's only really the first drive that a field goal really doesn't mean anything. If Virginia Beach turns it over, Theo Klein can just kick through a field goal for the win. Marshall dropping back out to his left. Toe tapper from Lawson. Barely got those in. You saw the turf kick up just inside the out of bounds. So very dangerous throw there. Very risky. Almost didn't gain nothing. Play action to the fullback, but it'll cost him. Sacked by Markel Sutton. 3rd and 12. And Virginia Beach might forfeit their opportunity to have the advantage in overtime. Go. Dropping back, plenty of pressure intended for Shakir Burns. Incomplete. And the blitz got to that Mariner offense, and Waldorf will come in to punt. Go. Fielded by Sammy Bell. Bell met by Burns. 38-yard line to start this Richmond Rockets drive. Looks like OnStar is the official sponsor of this game. I don't know what OnStar is. I guess we'll have to look them up. Not an official sponsor of us, but this game is plastered with OnStar signs. Wilmoth will gain 2 on the play. Tackled by Julius Sylvester. Gain of 2. Once again, handoff to Wilmoth. This time for a first down. Virginia Beach territory, not quite field goal range. And the running unit seems to be carrying this Rockets team to victory, potentially. Stopped after a gain of 3 by number 33. And off to Wilmoth once again, gain of 2. Not field goal territory. What will they do? It looks heavily like a run play. How will Virginia Beach stop it? Taub won't get the first. But this would be a 57-yarder. I mean, will he do it? He will not. Neuenschwander comes out to punt. I don't understand why you wouldn't go for that. But, I mean, there you go. That's why you don't go for that. That is down at the 3. At the 2. I am on the edge of my seat, ladies and gentlemen. There is a high likelihood this is a sack or a run stop for a safety. And Walker is able to evade the early tackle and gain 5, giving Virginia Beach a little more breathing room. But still, with the amount of pressure that Richmond has been applying to this young, inexperienced offensive line, with the exception of Jason Traynor, and he hauls it to Burns, who catches it up to the 50. And Kamani Moore gets banged up on the leg. Weird substitution on the left. Walker now in. Probably for the remainder of the game. Hand off to Walker on the outside. Spin move. Tackled after a gain of 1. Oh, and we'll see Trey Douglas. Trey Douglas is out of the Jefferson City, Missouri. He was on the St. Louis Shark squad last season. Now part of this running back core. He'll gain 1 as well. Last year, it was Eric Walker and Kamani Moore. Not a lot of people, in that mix other than those two. So it's surprising to see, another face in this Virginia Beach backfield. Burns pulling through once again. And a face mask, giving Virginia Beach field goal range. And that's the only costly penalty against Richmond, but it's with the game on the line. Virginia Beach just has to not fumble or throw an interception. And they go for the glory intended for the rookie. That was intended for Travis Churchill, the Washington State graduate. Grew up in Washington, wanted to go to Washington State his whole high school career. And that pass intended for Walker is incomplete. Kamani Moore returns, but I doubt he'll get any play time. We have essentially 5 wide receivers here. 40 pass attempts from Marshall. Make it 41. Robertson will lose some yards after he got 10. And this is for the game. The crowd is trying to distract him, but this is David Reynolds for the game-winning field goal. Will he make it? And he will! Virginia Beach takes it in the Battle of Virginia, going up 2-0 when playing in Richmond. Wow. Both quarterbacks put up some stellar games. I mean, a mistakeless game from both these guys. Shirley with one of the forced fumbles and a sack. Wilmoth, definitely player of the game for Richmond. However, also their bringer of destruction, as I like to say. Marshall, 2 rushes for 13. Walker, 64 yards and a touchdown. Burns, worth his weight in gold. 6 receptions for 108 yards and a touchdown. Rowland being the touchdown scorer for the receivers over there on the left. Coleman with 16 tackles. Talk about a defensive performance. Forced fumble from Shirley, who had 2 tackles for losses, 4 defended passes, a sack. I think Shirley was the best all around here today. However, if you look at Kirkpatrick, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 7 tackles, 2 defended passes. I mean, we know who our heroes are on each side. A lot of plays run, mostly pass on the Virginia Beach side. Not as many yards in total. More sacks against Richmond and more turnovers committed by Richmond. Some of the more important moments of the game. When at rushing, Moore didn't do a lot. A lot of people rushing today, though. Burns clearly being that guy. And this defensive unit for Virginia Beach stepped up on a team that otherwise does not have much of a defensive unit. Only 1 return for Marion. A lot of returns for Powers. 3 extra points and a field goal. That game-winning field goal from Reynolds. 7 punts from Waldorf. And let's go to Richmond. Wilmoth, both those fumbles. Wagner with the strip sack fumble. This defensive unit is pretty strong, it seems. Like, they can pop you for a fumble. So, see how both these teams do next week, facing off against their respective opponents. And, of course, up next to finish off the week, we have Milwaukee going into Iowa. That might be going on already. We have Austin going into Tucson. Please tune into those games and tune into all of our games as I bid you farewell for the week. Here at the NAGA, we will see you next time.